Okay, thank you. So, uh, I think we'd better write down the narratives so you can turn it in. So, uh, yeah, we when we deal with narrative technique for production, then we need to archive every informations. That will help a lot. Interviews, researches. When you research a story, then you always have to record that the the link, the address of the articles. So yeah, we can archive those informations, and then later on, we 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 need to check those informations when we need it. Yeah. So oh, actually, the text we are gonna use for narrative technique is in the is the article on the Wikipedia list of narrative technique. So everyone can find that ideas. Uh, so let's. So we're not going to deal with some kind of brilliant ideas. It's all those ideas you already know, or you've been, I think you've been uh, using those techniques, but we just want to refresh the ideas, and then yeah, so we can go together to make the better project. Okay. So let's start. Uh, uh, who's gonna be the first one to share the narrative? Uh, I'm watching. I'm looking. Uh, I'm I'm watching Kira right now. So Kira.
Hello. Yes, I would like to apologize for this, Professor Shin, because I've been working all night. I've been awake since yesterday because of work, and I have to attend the class, so I was not able to type it. But I have a story based on real life experience, and this is actually one of the theme of the a short movie that I would want to produce this year. So it's the title is Saving Eugene. Saving Eugene. Um, One hot summer night in Marbella, I was wiping tables at the pop-up store when suddenly I saw this tiny, fragile-looking boy that caught my attention. He was wearing an oversized, rugged shirt, sleeping soundly with his head on his right hand on the table and the other hand holding strings of flowers on the other. His tiny feet dangling 1 foot from the floor, looking so tired and worn out from the challenges of life. It broke my heart watching him that way. Then I slowly approached him to transfer him to a bigger chair for him to lie down. I slowly walked towards him and gently patted his shoulders. Wake up, young man. He slowly opened his eyes and squinted his eyes twice. And when he saw me hovering him as I was too big, he was so shocked and quickly stood up, fixing his torn down shirt, pulling it down, wore his slippers, and quickly sprinted away before I could even say hi. The next evening, I saw this boy again. This time, he's sitting at one of the table stools I have, still wearing the same oversized t shirt with strings of flowers on his left hand and several pennies on the other. He was drowsing on and off, and his head was dangling, and then up again, trying to stay up, but obviously failing. I approached him once again, but this time held onto his arm, making sure I don't startle him again. Then I said, "Hey, little man, feeling sleepy again?" Then he looked at me and nodded slowly. I pulled out a chair and sat, looked at him and asked his name, and he told me his name is Eugene. He was very tiny for his age because he was already 10 years old in a body of a 5-year-old kid. You'll see that he was malnutritioned, and I asked him, "Where are your parents?" He said that he doesn't have a father and his mother is working on a faraway place, and he was left with his grandparents. I said, "What do your grandparents do? Why are you not in school?" And he answered, "I was left with a 6-month-old brother and a sickly grandmother, and we don't have any money." So I said, "Is this why you're selling rings of flowers, sampaguita, on the streets here in the food bazaar?" And he answered, "Yes. This is the only means I can bring food on our tables and buy milk for my brother." It broke my heart, and the next day I can't sleep. So I went to the police station and asked for a social worker. But sadly, it's not part of the budget. We don't have the budget, according to them, and the person who can take care of this problem, because kids should not be on the streets selling things and asking for money, but they should be put into school. I went to a government office for a social worker talked to me, but then again, she said, "We can actually fetch the kid and talk to the parents, but we don't have an orphanage or a place to place those kids, if ever." So I said, "What will happen to them if we don't intervene? Are they going to be sleeping again on the streets, selling flowers every night, crossing the streets, the highways, endangering themselves?" They told me, "We can do things and we do have a budget, we don't have people. And I don't know if the government will give us budget for that." So I was it was outrageous experience. And what I did is that every night I drove out on a motorbike, finding Eugene on the streets, and reported him to the police station so that his parents or grandparents would be called. Hopefully that the social work services would fetch them and put them into school. I failed. So one night I saw Eugene again on the table and talked to him. Make sure that you look left and right whenever you cross the street and go to school, because school in the government is actually free. Come here every night and I will give you food and feed you. And please don't become a criminal like other people." And I was telling him a lot of stories about things that could happen if he don't want to go to school. He fell asleep and then woke up crying, telling me that he had a dream, and then asking help because he doesn't want to die on the streets of our city, starving or getting shot by police because he did something not good. So up until now, this is something that I yeah, would want to make a story, to spread the story about Eugene, because as of now, the city and the government and the people are just turning blind eyes to Eugene. So how many Eugenes would be there, and how many people would turn into drug addicts, getting hit by trucks on the streets of our city and other big cities if we don't think of ways on saving Eugene? Thank you.
Thank you. uh, yeah, that's great story. I want to hear the others' opinion on the Kira's story narrative. Kat?
It's very interesting. I'm not so sure if hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Um, in terms of um, so who is the my question is who is the one narrating the story?
A vendor in the food market.
Um, yeah, it's very nice. That's just my comment, Mr. Shin.
Oh. Yeah. Can I have one more opinion on the narrative?
Direction, can I speak?
Mhm.
Hello, everyone. Regarding with Ma'am Kira's narrative, I find it so detailed, and she was able to put us. She was able to state the setting, so that is the most important. One of the most important things in narration or in narrating a story. Excuse me. You have to establish first the setting, and then she was able to narrate also the exact conversation of the actors. So there were dialogues are very important to really get into the story. And yeah, that is my observation, Direction. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's kind of anecdote, right? So forms of anecdote, and there's some kind of dialogue, like Jovie, what's Jovie?
Juvir Direction. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Juvir.
Jovie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's touching story. And I think when telling a story, Kira was kind of like having some feelings, right? And
Yes,
I think that's the power of narrative, you know. So she acted that out a little bit, but I don't think she think she's the the character or that something like that. She's just telling a story. In this form, yeah, we can have some kind of feelings we can use, right? And the modern theater using dialogues a lot, and the actors and actresses are feeling they are the character or some things like that. That there's some good things about that kind of theater, but right now I'm looking for the other side of world using narrative, very archetypal form of performing arts. And today I'm going to show you some clips, video clips that Royal did. I mean, when he was in Korea. Yeah. So, but yeah. Okay. So who's gonna be the next narrator? Yancy, can I hear your narrative?
Okay, direct. So this narrative essay is in Filipino. I wrote this last week. So for a competition, and I just translated it in English. So before I start, I just wanna inform you, direct, that here in the Philippines, our grandparents, we call them lolo for our grandfather and lola for our grandmothers. So okay. So this is entitled Rest. The sun and the clouds are chasing each other in the sky. I swung the hammock made of rattan. I'm having a little rest after arranging my lola's flower. Some of these are in recycled can of milk. Some are placed inside a plastic container. I'll have a rest for a while, I whispered to myself. At this time, I can hear the crickets chirp starting to amplify. So I grabbed my phone and started to scroll over. Time freeze! These were my words to my playmates as I saw my lolo coming from a distance while we were still in the middle of a game. Can I have a little more time, lolo? We'll just finish this game. He just widened his eyes. So I grabbed my folded slippers used to hit the target on the game and inserted on my elbows and run. I know what those eyes meant. Spank with a broom. That is what Is always says whenever I behave stubbornly. As we're heading towards the house, my lola is waiting in the window while smiling. I put my clothes off and ran to the basin where my lola filled it with water. He fetched it before he came to call me while playing. While my lolo is scrubbing my groins, the mouth-watering aroma of adobong kangkong my lola is cooking filled the house. I put some shrimp paste on it because I know it's your favorite, Lola said invitingly. She knows that whenever she cooks that meal, I would have my stomach really full. After my bath, I asked my Lola to carry me on my room while I am still wrapped with a towel. He let me choose my pajamas to put on and put some powder over my body before he dresses me up. After being dressed up, we head toward the table my Lola fixed for our dinner. While my Lola and I continuously eat, Lola skips his because he needs to mold the rice in small balls and give it to me. That's how I want my rice whenever I eat. After eating, I washed my hands on the dipper filled with water beside me. After having our dinner, we sat on a long bench outside as we were showered with the stars up above. Then my lolo would start telling his stories with me. He told me that when he was young, he and his father would hunt for birds using sapyod. Sapyod, a long bamboo stick connected to a net made of coconut leaves, as he said. He also widened my vocabulary by teaching me old Hiligaynon words that we don't usually encounter nowadays. After sharing his stories, he lay me down on his lap and started singing lullaby, which he would always sing for me. Sleep well, Apo. As my eyes slowly shut, he just stared at me while singing. Have you finished arranging the flowers? I suddenly woke up, and as I heard my mama call me, I returned to the terrace of our house and continue arranging the flowers. While I keep on doing the flowers, the memories are still running in my mind as I look in my lolo's casket. I need to prepare a good eulogy for him. This will be my last goodbye to him. My lolo will now be resting. The clouds finally chased the sun, and the rain started to fall as tears in my eyes started to fall as well. The sun has set, so is my lolo. The rest. Thank you.
So, uh, Ella, could you say something on?
Yeah, I actually know Yancy for how many years? So I think that was a true story. Yeah, it was a true story, and I think the content of his narrative, I think the plot, the character, and of course the point of view was um, 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 well stated. Yeah, and yeah. Oh my. Yeah, I think it's a very great or it's a very good narrative. Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Let's have one more person to, you know, criticize the narrative. Marjorie?
Hi, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. I cannot criticize, but however, I would like to appreciate the content of the narrative. I like how he at the same time, I like the feeling of being Filipino because Filipinos are really love their grandparents. I like the idea that he was able to do something for his grandparents aside from he became stubborn when he was young, I think. And I also love the words that he was using is very simple. It was easy to be understood, and I like while listening to him, I was able to remember also my childhood days when I was also became stubborn to my grandparents. Maybe there might be some points that maybe there were some parts of the narrative that should be more elaborative maybe, but on my case I like how simple it was because it could be understood easily, and I felt the feeling of the narrator. I felt the feeling of giving gratitude to his grandparents. That's all, sir.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good story. It's a good story. Okay, Yancy, do you think you can connect it, the story to some other story? Like, I mean, Romeo and Juliet?
Connect it, sir. Yeah. Maybe yes.
Yeah, that's what we are gonna do right now. Oh, no, I mean, during the, you know, the program, the Bible
Okay.
project. Yeah, Yeah, and then we have main story going, right? So when we use narratives as a element to build some kind of story, that story have right length and impact. And everyone is a good narrator. They're already setting the circumstances, the environment, things like that, right? You tells about the time and the place, things like that, right? That's the basic of narrative. When I work with Korean actors and actresses, they often forget that kind of stuff. They just tell a story. But setting up some world is very important to make a narrative. And yeah, you're doing well. Yeah, but you need to work with those kind of things. So and then you put some kind of hooks and twists, right? But we're gonna talk about those kind of things soon. But today, I just want you to know about how you can work with other ideas, and then so you have to put your idea parallel to other ideas, and you need to make the idea, the narrative compact. So still you can work with your narrative, make it more more compact, right? And we're gonna do that kind of stuff the every class. Right now we just you just choose your narratives, the story, but from now on we're gonna using that kind of narrative or that the character in that narrative or story to connect into the the Chaturi theatrical universe. Yeah. So you and me and the characters in your narrative can live in the same world. So yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. We are trying to do. So and then juxtapose the ideas together. That's the very powerful tool, I think. So and then the deal with a narrative, kind of like 지혜 씨, 비약 뭐라고 해야 될까? 비약시키다?
You mean exaggerate?
비약시키다. 점.
아,
뭐 적당한 표현이 없을까? the
Leap.
비약? Yeah.
leap forward.
Oh.
Jump forward.
So you need to hide some information and some story. If you tell all the stories, then the audience will do something else. Like they can watch the program book, or they can scratches his body or something like that. They're interested to go somewhere else because the narrator kindly tell all the stories. So you have to skip some part. You need to make the audiences, the listeners, to use their imagination. So just hide something, then your narrative will be more powerful narrative. And all the two people, Kira and Yancy, did a very good narration, but that narrative tells everything. So if they hide something from their narrative, it'll be more powerful. So these two ideas is the very tools we're going to use, the juxtaposing the ideas, and then the jumping or hiding stories. That's the idea we're going to keep using.
Understood, sir. Now
Okay.
we understand.
Okay.
Yes.
Forgive my humble English. I couldn't find the right word.
Okay, sir. We understand what you mean.
Oh, could you say that again?
Yes, sir. Now, we got a little bit confused when you
Uh,
asked us to make a narrative, because we were thinking about the narrative type story, like narrate a story. But yeah, so now we get the picture that your instruction was about narrators, yeah, guide. But yeah, so now it's clear. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a narrative, but it's in theater, like kind of play, the show. So we have to work together. So when not today, but for next from the next classes, could you all bring some kind of instrument, musical instrument, or like, I mean, just anything, like, I mean, like this, the pet bottle, yeah, you can make sound, and so we're gonna do the lively telling of story narratives. So you can make some kind of theatrical environment, and you can. I talked about singularity. The is very good example of the singularity is, I mean, Sir Gallo. Gallo did the organize all those things and prepare something. I didn't ask him, but he already did all the things, because he's kind of he's doing his own pace, and that's what I'm trying to do. You can do like, I mean, I don't want you to be just the tools that I can use. As a director, I want to meet my actors and actresses and I mean the colleagues with that kind of ideas. So I I let you have the narratives. I mean the themes of narrative yesterday, today, but from now on you can choose your narrative, and so just take any kind of narrative which is in your mind. I mean, as an artist, you have some kind of subject. You wanna bring it to our world, right? You wanna make some kind of the theatrical projects, right? The idea you can bring it to our class, and then you can share your idea. Will kind of like connect it to Babel project, and then when you realize, when you make your idea realize, then we can help each other. Like, I mean, fundraising together, or to make that idea turns into performing arts or something like that. Yeah? So that's the idea of our Babel project. And so so we're gonna go yeah, let's have another narrator. Moi's here. Hi, Moi.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay. Can you hear your narrative?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Actually, I'm not prepared, sir, since
Okay.
not prepared yet. I didn't understand the instructions clearly.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, we are making a narrative, and then we're gonna connect the narrative to some regional narrative, like Mindanao or Coronado City, and then we're gonna make connected the idea to more bigger, collective narrative. So that's the Babel project, and we are preparing that project, and we're just practicing the using the ideas today. So yeah. So, and then it's okay. You're busy. My actors and actresses did the same thing. They just forgot, or they just didn't have time to prepare some homework. We said homework. That's bad idea, bad word. But yeah. So, but they can do on the spot. You know what I mean? You can, these days we can search internet every time. So when you miss the time, then you can catch up every time, right? So yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
No, that's okay. I mean, yeah. And these, actually I'm the same position. I couldn't prepare well for the lecture, so my lecture was shit, right? That was torturing lectures. Yeah, but I just want to share with the ideas, and these class it's very challenge. It's very big challenge to me. And I didn't have this kind of experience, and I'm kind of I'm not comfortable in English word. Actually, when I was 13 years old, my father went American, and since then I only see my father less than a year, and I didn't know that, but I kind of like hated that kind of American cultures and things like that. So I didn't study hard on English class. So my English is very poor. Even though I've lived America for 7.5 years. My English is still doesn't look good. I mean, doesn't look growing. But at least I'm speak some word and I can understand some part of your. So yeah. So who can tell us a story right now? That's good. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I actually did not have this written, but I've written this story before, way back in 2013. So its title is Panamilit, which is in Cebuano, farewell or goodbye. Okay. Gavin is standing in a beautiful, expensive hotel lobby. He looks up and sees a very big picture of himself and Isabel with the sign, Gavin and Isabel forever. He looks at his hand and touches the newly placed wedding ring in his finger. He takes a deep breath and he seems to question the decision that he has made. He feels the need to take a breather or take a break, and he walks towards the garden area of the hotel. There he walks alone towards the pool. Then he sees a beautiful woman in red sitting by the poolside. They exchange glances and smiled at each other. Gavin thought this girl or this woman is very beautiful. But remembering that he already has a wedding ring on his finger, so he decides to brush off the idea and walks past by the woman. All of a sudden, an inflatable beach ball hit his head. It was actually the woman who threw at him. The woman said, "Can you toss the ball back?" So Gavin obliged and took the ball from the ground and threw it back to the woman. As the woman was about to grab the ball, she fell into the pool. So Gavin, being the gentleman that he is, rescues her. So after that encounter, they talked to one another. The woman said, "My name is Leia. What's yours?" "Gavin," he said. Leia then asks, "Are you the groom?" Gavin says, "Do you think I'm the groom?" "Well, you're wearing a suit and tie, and there is a wedding in the hotel. I'm just here. I'm just invited, Gavin said. He lied. Since the woman was soaked from falling into the pool, she said to Gavin, "Let's talk. I'll be back. Let me just change my clothes." So as Leah walked away from Gavin, Gavin looked at her and then looked back at his wedding ring. And then he decides to brush it off again and walks away. As he was walking away, Leah was running back to him with a new set of clothes. And they talked. Leah asked, "So, are you related to the bride or the groom?" Gavin did not answer. As they discussed, they talked about the rain and how the rain washes everything, cleans the roads, refreshes, gives water to the plants. And then Gavin revealed that he is the groom, and that on top of that, this is his second wedding. His wife died of leukemia 1 year ago, and he said that he feels that he is cheating on his dead wife because he is now marrying a new woman. So Leah said that why would your wife be angry at you? I think she wants you to be happy. Then Gavin said, I didn't get the chance to say goodbye. So Leah said, okay, here, let me be Leah for you. Let me be Leah for you. Say your goodbye to me. Then Gavin said, I don't even know you. I cannot share my life to you. Then Leah said, the more it's better because I don't know you. So you can say whatever you want and I will not judge you. Then Gavin gives in and confesses and says his goodbye to his dead wife. He said that he feels sorry that he wasn't able to help her, and that he regrets all the decisions that he made, that not to spend more time with her, and that he also says that he is now marrying Isabel, his new bride, and I think that Isabel would make him happy. So after the confession, Gavin felt relieved and unburdened from the guilt that he is feeling towards marrying Isabel. So then Leah said, do you have anything else to say to your dead wife? Then Gavin looks at Leah and says, I will always love you, B. I will never forget you. Then Leah moves closer to Gavin, kisses him on the cheek, and says, I love you too, B. In the background, you can hear a girl calling, Gav. It is Isabel. Isabel then sees Gav alone, sitting in the garden, looking at a picture of Leah, his dead wife. Then they talked about that Leah would have talked about what happened next. Let me think. Then they talked about how Leah and Isabel were friends, and that Leah would be happy that he is moving on. And then after that, they went on to the reception, and Gavin looks back at the garden, sees Leah there, and waves goodbye. The end.
Thank you. Can we have a person who want to tell about his narrative? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Sir Kim. May I speak? Actually, I was not able to hear the whole story, but I just want to say that the story of that is actually what every one of us need, especially if there is someone in our life that we have not closed our book with yet. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit emotional because actually I have not finished my narrative yet because the story that I was about to share is a personal story. And actually it's like it's the same with what Tat shared na the character hasn't moved on with his wife. And in my case naman, I have not moved on with my daddy, even though it was already 6 years na he's gone. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry to hear that. That I apologize for triggering.
No problem. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
It's Yanzi Direct. It's Yanzi Direct.
And see.
So I just want to give comments based on what I've understand on what you said earlier, Direct. So the first of all, that was a good story, Sir Tats. So if I were to relate it to the lesson given by Direction earlier, I think the story was a good example of having it's like having an item from the first thing in the story up to the end. But I guess we don't need to feed our listeners. So it's really different from theater and on writing and narrative essay. So I guess if the ring was stated to be a ring only from the beginning to end, that would be a very good symbolism. So we don't need to feed our audience that the ring means he is married. So I guess that's one of the point Direction is pointing out earlier. We need to be more symbolic and we need to insert artistic gist and we need to treat our audience as intelligent audience. We need to show something that would make our audience think as well, because in theater you must be intelligent for you to understand. And I think having those kind of scenarios, giving the audience the task to think, would help them focus on the story itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, so it's a the narrative, the storytelling is really powerful tool. Make and when I deal with, when I create some kind of production with my actors and actresses, I tell them like make it shorter, and then they could make shorter. At the first time they can but they can make it. They are always able to shorten the story and then make it make some kind of impact on it. And because we are using about 50 stories for a production, and then they couldn't be too long. I mean, but there's a different aspect. I think shortening story make it more like something. But when you do the narrative by just by itself, then you can use more spaces, and you can have various expression, various tools, and if we work together and then put ideas and stories together, then we need to think about the length and the impact. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. And usually we do like this. They bring the first draft, and then we tell the story in front of other actors and actresses. Then they make comment on it. And then the actor or actress change the draft. We rewrite the draft, make shorter and impactable, and then we can use that narrative, or we just throw it away. But we always make complete the narrative and then throw it away. I think that's the good idea. When we can use that kind of ideas we already thrown away. But yeah, it's always good ideas. Even though you're not gonna use that kind of story, but you have to complete. You'd better complete the ideas and the narratives, and yeah. So I wanted to have that kind of practice exercise here, but I'm realizing it's very, very challenging here with online and with that language barrier and things like that. But I will find out the way. So I think we need to work on something. Like, I mean, we need some kind of written text. I don't like the idea of having text, but it's not. It's just preparing some kind of storytelling narrative or things like that. It's not like the text, the play or something. So yeah, it's already 5 o'clock. So I think we'd better take short break, like 5-minute break, and then we'll hear some others narrative. Okay, so 5 minutes. guys. uh, um, right now I'm gonna try to something that I'm gonna tell my story, but it's gonna be also the reading a story. um, okay, it's not very good story, but you know, I'll try. Um, mm. Hmm. In the summer of 2018, Shin Seung-yeol, the art director of the Actors Studio Jaturi, moved to the place where one of the sponsors rented him for free. There was no choice because the company he ran in the last year went almost bankrupt. One night, when he came back home with his exhausted body, he encountered an unfamiliar guest. He saw a tiny mouse hiding under the desk in a hurry. Its tail could be seen yet. He, not knowing what to do, went out with the door open, hoping that the mouse runs away soon. After a while, when he came back to his room, he saw the mouse still hiding in the same place. He came in with one lumber remaining after making the performance set. He just intended to make the mouse run away by making noises. However, where the mouse ran away was in front of the bookshelf, a place more revealing than under the desk. Even though he tapped it right next to it, the mouse was only hiding its head without running away. With 3 attempts to drive the mouse away, the impatience in his mind gradually turned into anger. Right. After that, he was wandering the town with a black plastic bag in his hand. The narrow-minded city didn't offer an inch of ground for the little fellow to rest, and he couldn't help but throwing away the black plastic bag in the dump. The best laid schemes of mice and men often go awry. Ew. That's it. That's what I encountered, the tiny little mouse. Yeah, a sad story, right? Yeah. I just wanted to share with the moment. I just skipped the part. It's not well designed, this narrative, I think, but you know, I just want to share that some part I'm skipping. That's that's the tool often use. And then I sometimes use some visual narrative, like I said, the creation, the painting, that the fingers, pointing God to the humans, the Adam, I guess, the finger, things like that, and we mimicked. My actors mimicked that painting, and it gives some kind of narrative. And then we turned on the sound effect, ding 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 or something. I mean, when you open the windows, they have some kind of signature sound, right? The window sound. And then on my computer, at the time, on my computer, that painting was in my desktop screen. Yeah, so we just use that moment and our state, and then make that thing. And the production is about the Genesis or something like that. Yeah. So we use that visual narratives, and we can use the sound as a narrative. Like, I mean, the Windows sound that tells something, right? There's some kind of narrative, feelings in the sound. So yeah. And then we sometimes we use the poem. I wrote a poem about another mouse, so I'm gonna share with you right now. Oh, the same thing. See? Am I? Oh, am I sharing file? No.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. The freedom of the moment of videotape rewinds. The first encounter with the little soul of red eyes, like a shy bride with blush, it hid behind the table legs. Ooh, 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 ooh. A drumming in ears by the noise of the party last night. The second encounter with the little fellow of red eyes. Astonished. Sorry. Astonished, slipped and showed its belly, and with blush, it looked for wet hole. Without a move, the two round eyes. 이거 아닌데? Ooh, 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 ooh. Astonished by a noise of a dishwasher, the tragic third encounter with my little friend, who's 2 feet in the leash. The frightened, cute red eyes ignoring the welcome guest. Ooh, 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 ooh. As if it doesn't even have the energy to speak. The last encounter with the fellow that I met in one summer's day, who's remaining 2 feet deep in the leash. Without a move, the two round eyes say farewell to the friends that waited for 9 months. When everyone goes back home after the season of 3 months, would only the table, chair, and sofa remember the existence of the beautiful little eyes? The white cake, a gift of malice without a bite, now become a cruel condolence flower. The little fellow with two kind eyes, without suspecting anyone's malice, lived a beautiful little life. Ooh, 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 ooh. My heart is crying. Actually, I wrote this poem in 2014. At that time, one of the Korean men was kidnapped by terrorists in Iraq, and they chopped his head on that day. And I saw the little mouse on the same day, and I wrote this poem. Yeah, it's very long poem. I could make more compact, but I couldn't at that time because it's my feeling, you know, came out at some point, and I couldn't help. Yeah, it's right now I'm doing, you know, two story, two idea, putting, I mean, juxtaposing two ideas together. Yeah, actually, like I said, I'm not very good, you know, artist, you know. The narrative, maybe my narrative is not that great, but I'm trying to use the power of narrative. So I'm trying to make it better and better, and I'm trying harder to make the good story. And yeah. So even though very good writer, they make it they make the shitty the first draft. So we can always work later and make it better, and you know, right? So I tried to, yeah, like I said, I tried to do some kind of that kind of practice here. You bring your first draft or first ideas, and then you can make, you know, compact and impactive, yeah? And then yeah. So, but I think it's already 5:20. I used 20 minutes to tell my story. And could you make a comment on my narrative? Someone? It's kind of tradition.
Hi, sir.
I'm
Good
observing.
afternoon. I was listening to the narrative a while ago. It shows the reality of life, that there's what you call those with fortunate people and those less fortunate. The one who killed the mouse was those on the upper level, and then the mouse signifies those on the lower level. I could sense that the narrative was narrated in a simple experience of seeing a mouse, but on the last part, when the one who killed the mouse was not able to bury the mouse, I saw the hurt. I felt the hurt on the part of those of the part of the person who killed the mouse, because maybe he wanted to bury the mouse, but there's no space, I think, or a spot to bury the mouse. And with that said narrative, it somehow made me realize that even if the person killed the mouse, there's still a kindness inside his heart. On the poetry, sir, I love the how the poetry was written. um I like the sound of who who, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think it shows the feeling of the writer who is trying to narrate an experience that he wants the readers to relate also. That is my observation, sir. And
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Oh. So, Chris. Uh, uh, can I have one more person to give me a comment?
Can I
Hi,
speak?
Derek.
Yeah. Yes, Yancy, please.
Okay, sige. I'll give my comment. So now I understand what kind of narrative direction was asking. So if we relate it to a play, it could be a one act play. So the narrative is simple. No more unwanted elements. So the details are every detail is important. So it's on point. I mean, uh, it's I as what Derek said earlier, we need the attention of the audience. So in that kind of narrative, in that kind of narration, the audience will focus on the story because it's short. In Filipino, we call it hindi maligoy. It's on point. And I think that's a very good uh, example of narration, especially with Filipinos, because Filipinos are not that patient. So that was a good piece, sir. Thank you for making us hear it.
All right. Yeah. Derek Kim, Derek Shin, can I speak to?
Okay.
Yeah. I totally agree with Yancy as well as with Miss Marjorie a while ago, Mom Marjorie a while ago. The narratives is very the narratives are very clear. And yeah, Yancy said that it's like a one act play, and the statement were very clear, so it would be easy for the actor because the instructions, the sound that must be portrayed are well stated also. So yeah, it's situational and it's realistic and it's based on real life situation. So it's generally relatable. So everybody could, yeah, as an actor, it would be easy for me to portray because of the language and then the instructions, how to do it. And so yeah, it would be easy for to internalize what would be the right scene for that certain narrative. Thank you, Direct Shin. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I expected some kind of critical, comments. Like, I mean, my narrative is still kind of like still is not it's not compact enough. Like I can make it more compact than impact impacted. But yeah, so it's kind of like the tradition I'm trying to have with my actors and actresses. We just bring stories, I mean, researches and interviews and things like that. And then we can share ideas and we can give some kind of critical comments on each one's, narrative. And then we can change it, make it better. And then for last production, we kind of like bring more than 20, 30 stories for each participant, each actors and actresses. And then they only have 3 to 5 episodes or narratives for the play. 10 actors and actresses. If they tell 5 stories, then we're gonna have 50 stories, 50 narratives within a show. So yeah, we trying to, and then those ideas belong to the actors and actresses. They are just one unity. They are having their own, singularity. So I think it's kind of like a paradox or something. I mean, the singularity means something like one, right? Oneness or something like that. But it's in plural forms, it became the meaning of diversity or variety or something like that. Yeah. And then, yeah, I love that idea. So I want my actors and actress as an, colleague artist so yeah, that's why I'm trying to use narrative and things like it's like a omnibus style of, production, or the each narrative is a kind of like just became a element to telling a story. Like it's like something. 그걸 뭐지? 갑자기 단어가 생각 안 나. 지혜 씨, 이거 저 이렇게 찍어 붙이는 거 뭐라 그러지? 그 미술 양식에서 종이 같은 거 찢어서 쳐가지고 이렇게 만드는.
콜라지.
Collage. Yeah, it's like collage. So you can see some kind of image with the collaging the images, the big image, but if you see the small part, you can see some the materials own something singularity. So you can watch it two things. The images images you make it the creator make with the collaging technique, and then you can see the the beauty of the material. And what I'm trying to do is something like that, the collage of some kind of image, and then the image of the material things. So, and then, like I said, we can make some kind of spin-off spin-off production with that small, tiny element of the narrative. That's kind of, I'm giving you the word. I mean, if there's good idea with a Babel project, and I will make that idea as a spin-off production. I mean, actually, I'm not a rich person. I'm not rich. Yeah, you know, I'm poor artist here, but I've been, you know, doing some kind of, you know, fundraising, and I can use the system in Korea, and I'm trying to share with that kind of my small, you know, talent. So I'll ask all the artists or my comrade from Russia to from Vietnam and from Philippines, and we're gonna make some kind of, you know, good, better world to, you know, do some kind of good artwork. Yeah. Okay. So actually, it's very challenging situation with, you know, to that kind of exercise that I told. So I think we need to bring some kind of written outcome of research or interview. So we can see the first draft before we start the class, so we can make more the precise, more critical, you know, the comment on someone's storytelling, right? And then Sunday we're gonna have a special topic. Special topic means we're gonna working on Babel project on with that class. But yeah, I'm still finding the challenging, you know, circumstances here. So I think we'd better have the class in through the Facebook, so we can have more support from the written material. Okay, and then also we can open the you know, the Zoom when we're ready. So I think we have to take much time on, you know, creating the main structure of the story project or something like that. So you all knows what the Babel project is, right? It's a multilingual project, but the first one was as I said, it was a anti-racism workshop, and then the second one I I created with my actors and actresses. There was a Royal and Yale, the two Filipino actors, and there was Korean actors and actresses and Chinese actor and American the trainer and Vietnamese actresses, and so five artists from 5 countries worked together. It's called Station City Hall. In Incheon City Station Incheon City Hall has some kind of big spaces, and there's 5 stages of dance floor, and there are many students using that dance floor, and then we interviewed all the students and dancers about dream, and we interviewed and researched on people's dreams, and we found lots of stories, and we make some collective narrative on dream. I can yeah, so then, and that the main story is like, I mean, we pretended to produce the dance group. So I wanted to make some kind of dance festival, but only one team applied. So the 2 middle school girls, their name is Tag. So we make some kind of story producing the dance group, and then we researched lots of stories about dream, and then yeah, right. Okay, actually I lost. So yeah, we have to make some kind of, you know, main story, and then we need to share some ideas and things like that. So we're gonna do that kind of stuff during the special topics. And right now I'm gonna show you the second Babel project, Station City Hall, little bit. Hold on, I need to open. So, so 화면공유.
New York, and here tonight as our guests from South Korea, the Tag.
This is Royal. Filipino. It's one of the girls dreaming. their dream to win dance festival. It's a New York Dance Festival. So they just daydreaming. That's okay. Another one.
Mga 20 taon na nakakaraan. Sa probinsya ng Zamboanga del Sur sa Pilipinas.
So it's,
May
you
isang
can hear
bata na
the
naglalaro sa
familiar
labas ng
sound,
bahay.
right?
Gabing hapon, sa ilalim ng 2 mataas na puno ng santol. Mga 30 hakbang mula sa kanya. May isang jeepney na dumating. Labis na namangha ang bata nang makita niya nasa ibabaw ng jeepney.
So his story is like a little bit,
Isang bike na may sidecar.
yeah,
Pangarap ng bata na magkaroon ng ganitong klaseng bike.
little bit. He could make it compact, more compact, but you know, at the time, it's very, yeah, yeah. So we put some kind of idea on connecting the world. Yeah. Actually, the goal is translating, interpreting, but as we're gonna put, use some kind of idea of using, you know, she's reading a book. That the Rowan is the character of the book or something like that. It's just we just yeah, think about that kind of stuff. You know, when we connected the narratives or stories to other stories, we kind of, you know, use lots of ideas. You know, like, I mean, theatrical ideas. Okay. And there will be another clip. I mean, was acted by Neil. So one of he's the Chinese actor speaking in Korean. So
사랑합니다. 태그입니다. 저희 학교에서 반대학 합성대회가 있었는데요. 거기서 저희 둘이서 안무를 하게 된 거예요. 대회 끝나고 안무가 되게 독특하고 좋다는 말도 많이 들었어요. 아저씨. 누가 그러게요?
yeah.
아빠 맞습니다.
정말 아빠 맞아요?
네. 아저씨. 아저씨 여자예요, 남자예요?
남자죠.
봐요. 그럼 엄마 아니고 아빠 맞죠?
예, 맞네요. 아빠 맞네요. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Yeah, that's Koreans, so you cannot understand, right?
지금 따님과 함께 살고 싶었던 아저씨의 꿈을 이루어주셨습니다.
So here comes Neil.
여기 또 다른 아빠가 있습니다. 필리핀에서 온 닐 카마초입니다.
The hospital on March 5, 2016. I was outside the delivery waiting for an update from the doctor inside. So how is she right now?
that keep coming to my mind. A few hours later, sat in the corner, hearing my heartbeats for 11 times. I don't know why I felt that way. I can't wait for them to get out. But the time that I saw them, felt tears. Very happy. I told myself that I have to work and strive hard for them. One thing is for sure. And raise my child and family with good life and future. Just becoming a parent comes with a big responsibility in everything, especially for the family. Oh, Sarya! Sarya!
Yeah. So it's the second Bible project. Actually, I asked Neil to tell his story about his dream in Tagalog, but I don't know why, but in some way he acted out in English. Yeah, we used the 5 languages together for that production. So we're gonna do the same thing for the Comet Halley project. And then, yeah, do you know? Oh, have you read the articles I sent you on Bible project? The things writing about Bible project? No. Okay. Do you know when the comet Halley will visit our planet next time? Is there anyone who knows when to see the comet Halley again?
2061.
2061.
Prof.
2061. Yeah, 2061. There's 40 years later, right? 40 years. Yeah. I'm gonna do that's what I want to do. I mean, for 4 years, I'm gonna do that project every year. So yeah, I'm gonna go slow. Yeah. So, like I said, we're gonna confront really big challenge. Yeah, during the session, during the program. Yeah, but we're gonna make it happen, and then we'll make it better and better and better. I mean, every year. Yeah. So this is time to finish the class, right? And then don't forget tomorrow we're gonna have a special topic, and this I want to meet you casually. right? Today is very, I tried to do some kind of formal stuff, and then I kind of like failed, right? So as you all know, my English isn't that great, yeah. But I'll do my best. So you just help me, and then we're gonna make really good production, you know, really good third Babel project. Okay. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Thank you, sir.
감사합니다.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are we done, Director Shane?
Up.
Are we done, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we done? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm prepared with my narrative. And
Oh, yeah. Actually, we're gonna do the next time.
next time. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Every time we're gonna do the same thing, same works. Like you're gonna present the narrative, and then we're gonna make some comments on that storytelling, and then we're gonna remake. I mean, yeah, represent the narrative and things like that. But it's very, like I said, it's very challenging, you know. So, yeah. Okay.
For the narrative, Director Kim, are we going to have the same theme
Mhm.
or any
You can
story would do?
you can think about things like, I mean, I prefer some kind of a historical narrative because this project is time involved, like 76 years of the Comet Halley. I mean, circle the solar system, right? And then things like that. So someone who's in different era, so the same Comet Halley, and he or she did have some kind of feeling we are gonna have. That's the same feeling and things like that. So I write some kind of, some ideas. It's just ideas. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna throw it away. But the Emperor Nero, the Roman emperor, he kind of killed his the higher servant. They to remove some kind of omen on him. Like, I mean, they thought about the appearance of Comet Halley as kind of like a disaster or some kind of omen or something like that. So he just killed the people to protect himself or something like that, and things like that. It's a story, but the people who were killed, kind of like they feel like it's they feel some kind of anger or something like that, or the sons or daughters of him or she, right? They kind of like think about something, to do something, and then they make some kind of secret, the organization, and is still existing, and then we're gonna have some kind of story from them, or Romeo and Juliet, the Kepler, the family, or their family, they they might knows the commentary would be the digester, would be the I mean would crush it on Earth at the time, and then they try to they say they just try to prevent the fictional event. But while they doing so, they just they had different ideas, different approaches, and they got fight, and then they became enemy of each other. And Romeo and Juliet, the loves of Romeo and Juliet just created, or something like that. It's just fiction. I just made up, right? And you can make up that kind of stories, right? So, but today's story is also okay. You can connect it to the same. We can use the character to the commentary things. We can send the little boy in Kira's narrative to the headquarters to deal with commentary or something like that. Maybe he has some kind of superheroic the talent, right? Yeah, we can make some kind of ideas like this, and in the form of narrative, we can feel some kind of realistic feelings, right? Because of the form, the narrative form. That narrative kind of like gives us some kind of information or knowledge or things like that, like a Bimji said, the Bimji.com said, something like that, and I agree with them, right? So so that's what we're gonna do, but I don't want you to just make some elements for that Bible project. You work on your own own ideas. So then later on we can make we can collaborate with on your project. Like you can make some kind of spin-off production, yeah, with your ideas, right? Okay, so I think we need to finish the class right now, and then see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Direction.
감사합니다.
Oh.